appears that my bookkeeper, Kay White, has run off with the payroll. And she's also been fiddling the books.
Oh, Andrew, that's dreadful. How did you find out?
Well, I'll explain all that later, but the reason I'm ringing is that to protect yourself and the department, you must put in a written report today withdrawing your support from the work project. Yeah, no, please, don't interrupt. Look, the police have been called in. They'll be here any minute. So, please, Erica, I beg of you, put that letter in today. It's the only way to keep your name out of this whole mess. Something's just come up. I'll bring you back. Kay.
Sorry I was gone so long. I got held up.
Where's the money from the pay envelopes, Kay?
It's all here.
And all the other money you've stolen? You've been fiddling the books for months, haven't you, Kay?
Look, Mr. Reynolds, I can pay it all back. I had a big bet and it came in. I can pay back everything. I'll just give you the money and I'll go.
I'm afraid it's too late for that, Kay. The police have been called in. They're looking for you now.
No, Mr. Reynolds, don't bring them, please. Give me another chance.
Now, look, Kay, for many years you held a position of trust and responsibility with this company. You've betrayed that trust in the worst possible way.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing but a common thief.
Dylan, what about you? Conning the prison authorities into providing you with cheap labor. That doesn't exactly make you lily white either.
I was trying to save the factory and the jobs of the people who work here. You've destroyed all that.
Look, Mr. Reynolds, can't you tell the police you made some sort of mistake? Look, if you hadn't found out about the money so quickly, I'd have returned it all and you'd never have known.
And if the horse had lost, the money would be gone and I'd never see you again, would I, Kay? I'm sorry.
Take the bloody money.
Okay. Going somewhere?
Get me the police.
Who's on duty at the factory tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, that scheme should have been dropped long ago. It would have been, except for Mrs. Davidson. Have you ever wondered why she's so keen to keep it going? Especially after I told her I thought the women were doing other work on the side.
Well, she probably still sees it as a worthwhile rehabilitation scheme.
Do you think that's her only interest?
Oh, come on, Vera, let's not start all that again. I've got this roster to finish.
Yes, and it's much safer to keep your head in the sand, is it?
Oh, Mr. Fletcher, Miss Bennett, I'm glad I've caught you together. I've had to make a decision about the women working in the factory, and I have decided to cancel the project.
Well, I can't say we're sorry to hear that.
No, but it's a bit sudden, isn't it, Mrs. Davidson?
I've been weighing the pros and cons for some time. I intend to tell the women immediately.
I was wondering when she'd get round to doing something.
Okay, everyone, smoko. Yeah, I'd fill up while I can if I were you. I wouldn't trust the regular Tucker.
What, you mean with Lizzie on kitchen duty?
Lord knows what she's going to do to the food.
Oh, she's not such a bad cook, you know. She cooked me a real lovely meal once when we were living in the halfway house together. She made a wine trifle practically curl your hair.
Well, I see I'm not interrupting your work. Good. I have an announcement to make. Due to your abuse of the factory work project, it has been cancelled.
What do you mean, Mrs. Davidson, our abuse?
Your agreement to work on non-government contract goods. How could you think you could be so stupid to get away with it? That is all. Carry on.
Well, that's funny.
Funny? Got a weird sense of humour, Doreen.
No, I mean, if she knew about the other work, how come nobody's getting punished for it?
Isn't not being allowed to work at the factory punishment enough?
Oh, I don't know. You would have thought she'd stop the privileges or something.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't suggest it if I were you.
All right, you lot, move out. You're going to miss your days out and your little bus trips. I knew one of you'd soon do something to ruin it.
You look awful, Vera. Why don't you do something with yourself?
Morning, Vera.
Have you seen this?
What?
The story about that bookkeeper at the Reynolds clothing factory being arrested for embezzlement and larceny. This is the reason for Mrs. Davidson's change of heart about that factory project.
What do you mean?
Well, now she knows there's a police investigation underway, she couldn't cover up the fraud any longer.
Fraud?
Yes, of course. She was prepared to sweep it under the carpet rather than getting her boyfriend Andrew Reynolds into any strife. But now that it's out in the light, she had to act quickly to appear to be doing the right thing.
Look, it really doesn't concern us, Vera. The factory work project has been cancelled, which is what we both wanted. I think we should just forget the whole thing.
Well, you can have that attitude if you want to, but I take my duty a little bit more seriously.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to call the department and make a full report on the matter.
We'd better cut this article out of the papers before the women see it.
Rubbish. They'll find out sooner or later.
I still don't understand why Davo wasn't harder on us. You remember how...
Look, as far as I'm concerned, it's bad enough losing the job. Just think yourself lucky, Doreen.
Oh, well, I know it means a lot more to you than it does to me, because you've got longer to do, but I was just thinking...
Thinking?
You know.
That's one thing you've never been accused of. Why don't you go off and eat a chocolate or something?
Oh, thanks.
Hey, V, look at this.
What's the matter with you? World War III broken out or something? As if it'd make any difference to us. What?
No, it's in the paper about the factory.
Oh, look. A woman's been arrested for theft and embezzlement from the Reynolds Clothing Factory, Kensington. The woman, Kay White... Bloody Kay.
Yeah, well, that's how Mrs. Davidson would have found out about that extra work with Mr. Reynolds and all that stuff.
Yeah, that bloody Kay must have lagged.
Yeah, and I reckon she set Nolene up. Just like Nolene said, we ought to believe her.
Oh, who'd ever believe anything that bitch said? Mind you, she might be on the level for once.
Well, looks like Kay's mucked up everything.
Well, I promised if anyone was responsible for the work project being cancelled, they'd be sorry.
Well, she might end up in here, you know.
She'll be bloody sorry if she does.
Hurry up, there's a good man. I'm the new social worker here. I don't want to be late on my first morning, do I? Hey?
Excuse me.
Oh, hello there. I'm Miss Forster.
Oh, Miss Foster,
Yes, I'm the new social worker here. Oh, look, you wouldn't mind carrying this for me, would you? Got a ton. Though one should say ton now, shouldn't one? Delighted to have the chance to work here, you know. Been shuffled around a bit by the department. Only a year off retiring. Wouldn't think to look at me, would you, eh? Been with them a long time. Good morning, all. I'm Miss Forster. Would one of you let the governor know I'm here?
I'm the governor, Miss Forster. Erica Davidson.
Fancy that. First person I met, eh? Should have spoken up.
Yes. This is Mr. Fletcher, my deputy governor, and Officer Bennett.
How do you do?
Well, I'll leave you with Mr. Fletcher. And I'll pop in and see you later in the day when you get settled in.
Righto.
Mrs. Davidson, Mr. Douglas is waiting in your office for you.
Well, I wish you told me so immediately, Miss Bennett.
Well, lead on to my office, dear. I'd like to get the feel of my new home.
Righto, this way.
I hope the office is a decent size. I've got quite a few things, you know. Bit of a collector. Like to have my own things around me.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Ted.
That's all right, Erica. I got here early because I wanted to see you first thing.
Oh, do sit down. Is something wrong?
Well, yes. We received a report yesterday afternoon from one of your officers. There were allegations that some of the prisoners had been involved in illicit work.
Yes, that's why the work release was stopped. I'm preparing a report for the department myself.
Well, unfortunately, the report went further than that.
Oh?
Yes, well, it was, implied that you knew about this work and turned a blind eye to it because of your, friendship with Reynolds.
So now I am to be subjected to a departmental inquiry, am I?
Erica, I'm sorry. You know, I hold you in the greatest respect, but unfortunately, once a
And
report...
I am sure Miss Bennett's strong implications were very precise and damning.
Well, yes, I'm afraid so. Well, of course, she's known to be quite vindictive.
Yes, indeed. Still, I can't deny that I knew about the illicit work some time before cancelling it.
Well, then why did you let it continue?
Well, I spoke very strongly to Mr. Reynolds, and he promised me that he would stick strictly to the government contract work for the women in future.
Well, you were prepared to take his word for that?
Yes. He explained that he had acted hastily and unwisely because his company was under great financial pressure. He readily admitted his fault and assured me that there would be no repetition of it.
And you didn't doubt him?
No, as far as I know, there was no attempt to infringe on the agreement.
Oh, Erica, look, I'm sorry to have to ask this. Well, if I don't, somebody else will. Is it true that you've been seeing Reynolds out of working hours?
Yes, it is. Mr. Reynolds has a very strong interest in prisoner rehabilitation. He wished to discuss it with me and invited me out to dinner. I saw no reason to refuse.
Oh, I wish I could nip this thing in the bud, I really do. But of course, as you know, my hands are tied. There will be an inquiry, you do know that.
Yes, I understand.
I wouldn't worry, though. By the time we get through all the red tape, things may have cooled down a bit.
There you are. Big enough for you, Miss Forster?
Oh, yes, it'll do quite nicely after I've fixed it up a bit.
Right, well, I'll leave you to it then.
Oh, yes, there's one thing, dear.
You can call me Jim if you prefer.
Righto, Jim.
Well, you're going to ask me something?
Oh, yes, yes. I was wondering whether one or two of the prisoners might be able to fetch me a few things from the car. I've got quite a bit.
Yes, well, I suppose that could be arranged.
Oh, we'll probably need your help too, dear. Some of my cartons are a decent size. Well, I hope it's not too heavy for you, dear.
Not at all.
Oh, well, perhaps you'd care to lend a hand too, dear.
Well, I've got better things to do.
Yes, I suppose you must get busy.
Good morning, Miss Forster.
Oh, Mr. Douglas, how nice to see you again.
I see you're just settling in.
Oh, well, it'll take a while to get the place just the way I like it.
Well, all the very best in your new job.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Douglas. Well, I must press on. Can't hold up proceedings, eh?
I'll see you again.
Oh, Mr. Douglas, I've typed up a complete report detailing everything I know about the factory project and what went on there.
Post it. There's no advantage in giving it to me.
I merely thought it might expedite matters.
There's no great need for urgency, Miss Bennett. Departmental machine will be put into action, but it could be months before there's any outcome.
Reynolds Clothing Factory. Hello? Reynolds Clothing.
The warrant. Thank you. Stand on that line. Is your name Kay Francis White?
Yes.
Kay Francis White, you are charged with embezzlement and theft and are to be held on remand until your case comes before the court. Now go behind that screen and get undressed. Mrs. Davidson, Kay White is here. Very well. I'll bring her in as soon as she's been processed. Hurry up, White. You've got an appointment with the governor.
Feeling is high amongst the women because their work release has been cancelled. It is possible they may hold you responsible and take reprisals.
But I had nothing to do with that.
I imagine the women may be hard to convince. For that reason, you will be placed in the isolation block for your own protection.
I shouldn't even be in here. I'm sick. I need treatment.
In what way are you ill?
I'm mentally ill. I only took that money because I'm a compulsive gambler.
I don't know the compulsive
I
gambling.
need psychiatric treatment, not to be locked away. What happened wasn't my fault.
The court will have a fair chance of judging that when your case comes to trial. In the meantime, you will be placed in here in custody.
I shouldn't be. That's not fair.
I see from your file that bail was set, but was not forthcoming.
Oh, how could I pay bail? I'm broke. I gave all the money I had back to Reynolds. Fat lot of good that did me. That bastard wouldn't help me.
Have you no family or friends who could pay the bail? You are entitled to make a phone call or send a telegram, you know.
There isn't anyone. Not with that sort of money.
Well, all I can do, White, is to make sure that the other women do not vent their disappointment on you whilst you are in here. Take White to isolation, please, Miss Bennett.
From what?
Oh, and Miss Bennett, would you return Bryant to her usual cell and activities?
Do you think that's wise, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes, Miss Bennett, I do.
Kay, what are you doing here?
There'll be no talking, Bryant. Just collect your belongings from the cell.
Oh, well, if I'm getting out, I'm not going to argue, am I?
All right, what?
You know something, Kay? You're going to love it in here. Got lots of exciting things to do all day long, like counting the fly specks on the wall.
I said no talking. I hope you enjoy your own company.
How's it going, Miss Foster?
Oh, fine, fine. I'll soon have a place for everything. That's something of a motto of mine, actually. A place for everything and everything in its place. Nothing like being methodical, is there, dear?
No, I suppose not.
Oh, and thank you very much for your help, dear. Despite what Women's Lib has to say, a woman can be quite helpless without a man to help her at times.
Well, perhaps I can show you around the place then and fill you in on a few of the details.
Oh, that'd be lovely, but could we possibly leave it until I'm a little more organised?
Yeah, sure. You just let me know when you're ready, all right?
I'll do that, dear.
Ladies, da-da-la, the greatest living escape artist.
Well, how are you,
Oh, have they? How are you doing?
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. Actually, when I was first brought back, I was a bit bitter and twisted, you know. But I thought to myself, what the hell? I'm going to be here for a while. I might as well make the most of it.
That's the way. Don't let them get on top of you.
Oh, it's nice to see you, Jude, though we hope we wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I guess I probably didn't have much chance of getting away with it, eh?
No, you never do. And that's the voice of experience.
Hey, girls, guess who I saw being put into the isolation block just now?
Kay White.
I wanted to tell you that. What's she in for?
She's been fiddling the books at the clothing factory.
That doesn't surprise me.
You say she's been put into the isolation block.
That's right.
Must be to keep her away from us, which means she is responsible for us losing the work at the factory.
Yeah, they're frightened. We'll get at her.
And so we will.
Well, that's not going to be easy, you know, in isolation.
Yeah, what can we do to her in there?
I'm thinking. There's the meal delivery.
Yeah, and Lizzie's on kitchen duty this week. She's an old hand at slipping things into food.
Yeah, and Margot's there too. And Kay owes Margot money. So Margot's going to be dead keen to get the bitch.
Yeah, well, that's not going to get you back to the factory.
No, but it's going to make me feel much better.
Yeah, more final notices.
Oh. You know, since that newspaper hinted we might be in financial trouble, every creditor I've got is turning into a panic. I mean, look at these. Demands for payment, final demands, even a summons. They certainly know how to put the screws on it.
Yeah, well, now do you want the real bad news?
Oh, what's that?
There's a bloke out there to see you from the taxation department.
Oh. One more nail in the coffin.
Not too much mashed potato, Margot. That's to go round, you know.
G'day, Mrs. O'Regan. Are you ready for me?
Yes, Lizzie. The ones on the end of the bench are for isolation, solitary, and maternity. Give her a hand with it, will you, Margot?
Cheer about Kay White.
read it in the paper. I hope that bitch ends up in here.
She already is. She's in isolation.
Oh, yeah? Well, you'll be delivering her meals, won't you? And give her a message from me. Tell her she's on the inside now and no better than the rest of us, so she better pay up the money she owes or else.
Can't do much to her in isolation.
Can't I just? Make sure you give her this one. Tell her she better pay up the money she owes me, otherwise there'll be worse to come.
All right, Birdsworth, be quick and no talking.
Hello? I'm Lizzie.
Hello.
I got a message for you from Margot. She reckons you better pay her what you owe her or else. And believe me, she means what she says. The other women are crooked on you, too.
Why? What have I done to them?
Well, you dobbed them in about the extra work they were doing. And you stopped their work release.
No, I had nothing to do with that.
Well, you laid your hands on quite a bit of dough, or so it says in the papers.
Oh, that wasn't me. The business was going broke and my boss needed someone to blame, so he set me up.
The others are not going to buy that.
Birdsworth, what are you doing? I said no talking. Now get going.
Oh, I can't eat this muck. Hey, this food is dreadful.
The tucker in here always is.
No, something's been done to it. They're trying to poison me.
Will you stop your nonsense, White?
But I can't eat it.
Then you'll go hungry.
Hello. I'm Meg Jackson.
I'm Miss Forster.
I hope you're going to like working with us. I've brought you some files on prisoners that you may need to be conversant with.
Oh, put them over there, dear, somewhere, will you?
Well, one you want to study is on a woman called Beatrice Smith. She tends to be something of a self-styled leader. There's not much goes on that Bea doesn't know about.
Oh, really? Would you care to join me in a cuppa, dear?
Oh, no, not at the moment, thank you.
Oh, well, then perhaps you might like to plug in the jug for me.
We do have a staff room, you know, where we have our tea and coffee breaks and eat our lunch. Perhaps you'd like me to show you where it is?
Oh, that won't be necessary, dear. I'm quite self-sufficient. I bring a packed lunch every day, and I have my electric jug and my tea bags.
Wouldn't you like some company?
Oh, no. I've got plenty to occupy my mind. No need to fill my time with pointless chatter.
But it would give you a chance to meet some more of the staff.
Oh, I'm sure I'll make their acquaintance in due course. As I say, you're quite welcome to join me in a cuppa.
Oh, no, thanks. I was just going to the staff room.
Well, don't let me detain you, dear.
We're going to have our hands full, I think.
How do you mean?
With Kay White. You should have heard her carrying on when she got her lunch.
Yeah, I can't say I blame her. Good thing we put her into isolation, though.
In my opinion, she should be in the psychiatric ward.
Listen, what do you think about this new social worker?
Well, I don't think much of them at the best of times, but this one seems a far cry from Paul Reed.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I noticed she had you at her beck and call.
Well, somebody had to give her a hand. She had a lot of stuff there.
So I noticed. You'd think she'd come to live.
You ought to see her office. Books, pot plants, knick-knacks all over the place.
Seems to me like she could be in her dotage.
No, she seems pretty bright. I don't think anyone could put anything over on her.
Well, I hope the women here can't. Because they could certainly twist Paul Reed round their little finger.
Ah, you two started. I'm running a bit late.
Well, we're just talking about this new social worker.
Did anyone think to tell her where the staff room was?
Yes, I went in there a moment ago. She said she'd rather eat in her office.
Oh, did she?
And how do you social worker, eh?
She did seem a bit strange. I took some of the women's files into her. She didn't show the slightest interest in them whatsoever. Seemed far more concerned about making herself comfortable in the office.
Yeah, she does come across a bit strange. She keeps calling me dear.
She's probably just trying to be friendly.
I hate that sort of familiarity. She'll call me by my proper name.
Well, she introduced herself to me as Miss Forster.
Oh, seems to me like we've got a real oddball.
Well, Mrs. Davidson says she's got a marvellous record, been with the department for years.
If it was up to me, I'd dispense with social workers altogether.
I couldn't eat this.
I told you. That's up to you.
They've put something in it. They're trying to poison me. I wish you'd listen.
Why would anyone want to poison you? The food in here is perfectly good. You'll get used to it.
Why won't you listen to me? This food is poisoned. Here, taste it yourself.
I saw this tucker dished up, same as everybody else got. No one else complained.
Aren't you going to do anything about that?
Will you stop this nonsense? You won't get very far in here carrying on like that.
I want to see the governor.
The governor can't be bothered with complaints about the food.
I want to see the governor. You have to let me.
All right. Come with me. The new prisoner White wants to see you.
Is it important?
I don't think so. It's about the food.
All right, I'll see her.
In here, White.
You have a complaint about the food.
There was something put in it.
What do you mean, something?
I don't know. The women are out to get me. They've put something in my food.
I know I warned you the women may be against you, but don't you think you may be jumping to conclusions now?
No, I am not. They're trying to poison me. Why won't anyone listen to me?
Did you taste the food, Miss Bennett?
No, I'm used to the prisoners complaining.
Where is the meal now?
I had it sent back to the kitchen.
I see. All right, White, I'll look into the matter.
I should be getting better treatment than this. I'm not even guilty. I should be out on bail by rights if I had the money.
Do you have legal representation?
No, I haven't. I can't afford it.
Well, legal aid will look after that. Take White to see Miss Forster and ask her to arrange a visit from a legal aid solicitor.
Very well. Come on.
Oh, and Miss Bennett, I shall be out for a short while.
You get your money. Yes, I know you had to wait a little longer than usual, but there'll be a check in the post next week. Yes, well, after your present attitude, you can be sure I'll be looking for a new supplier. Come in. Erica.
I thought it better not to ring. There's always the possibility of being overheard at Wentworth.
Well, it was good of you to come. Do please sit down. I'm going through absolute hell. My creditors are hounding me, and my staff are leaving me like rats deserting a sinking ship.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew. I wish I could help, but... Well, I'm in a little difficulty myself.
How do you mean? Because of me?
I had a visit this morning from Ted Douglas from the department. He's a good friend.
What are they trying to do to you, Erica?
There's going to be an investigation as to whether or not I knew you were offering the women non-government work. Frankly, Andrew, my job could be on the line.
Oh, hell. It's all my fault. Is there anything I can do?
I was forced to deny there was anything more between us than a business relationship. It's important the inquiry doesn't reveal otherwise.
Well, you know I won't do anything to jeopardize your position.
I know. Of course, this means I won't be able to see you again.
Well, everything else has gone bad for me. Why not this? You know, I really do care about you, Erica.
Yes. But it's impossible for us, Andrew. I'm sorry it's turned out like this.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Erica, this is my wife. Why didn't you tell me you were coming back today?
I thought it might be a good idea to catch you on the hop. And obviously it was.
What are you talking about?
Well, I did find you being consoled in your troubles, didn't I?
Mrs. Davidson is a business acquaintance, and that is all. Now, don't try to make anything out of it, Julie.
Well, it's a good thing I came back when I did, considering the mess your ineptitude has got the business into.
It's not my fault we were robbed.
According to the papers, Kay White tried to return the money. Now, why the hell did you have to make such a big fuss out of it? You could have just taken the money back and sacked the woman. If you'd used a little forethought, you could have avoided this whole ugly situation.
You never face the reality of things, do you, Julie? The business has been struggling along on the verge of bankruptcy for months, and you go traipsing off overseas, visiting various fashion shows, pretending you're a manufacturer of high fashion. Whereas, in fact, all we make is cheap fashion for the discount market.
The only reason we do that is because of your small-mindedness. If we went into the high fashion market, we wouldn't have to compete with the cheap Asian product. And about my going overseas, why shouldn't I? You seem to forget, Andrew. It was my money that started the business in the first place.
How could I forget it? You're constantly reminding me.
And what about your lady friend who left so hurriedly? She's a little easier to get on with, is she?
She is a business acquaintance, and that is all. Mrs. Davidson is the governor of Wentworth Detention Center. I began a work scheme with them, hoping the cheap labor might help save the business. Nothing can save it now.
And might I say, the same goes for our marriage.
What?
I've had enough, Andrew. I'm going to divorce you as quickly as possible.
I would never have done it if it hadn't been for my gambling debts. I was almost out of my mind with worry.
Yes, gambling fever can grip one like an octopus. I've seen it before.
Well, I didn't really know what I was doing. Look, what I need is a good lawyer who can make people see that I'm sick, that I should be given treatment, not locked away like some common criminal.
Yes, well, legal aid should be able to help you there. Are you sure you wouldn't care for a cup of tea?
No, thanks.
Oh, very well. The prisoner is ready to go back to her cell, dear.
My name is Miss Bennett.
Yes, dear. Would you care for a cup of tea before you go?
I haven't got time to be drinking cups of tea.
As you wish.
Come on, White.
But, Miss Forster,
Get a move on.
Well, good night.
Night, Meg.
Night.
Oh, hello, Meg. You're just off.
Yes, I am. Are you all right?
Yes, why?
I just thought you looked very tired.
No, I'm fine. What are you doing tonight?
Nothing that I know of.
What about coming over for a drink?
Oh, yes, that'd be lovely. About 8?
Yes, that'd be fine. I'll see you then.
I heard Kay White's claiming her food's been poisoned.
I don't think our food's that bad.
You don't really think someone's tampered with it, do you?
No, but I still have to investigate. Well, I'll see you tonight. Bye.
Bye.
Everything quiet?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
Good night, all.
Oh, Miss Forster, I must apologize. I haven't had a chance to talk to you properly today.
Oh, it's no problem, dear. I've got myself nicely settled in.
Good. Well, we'll have a chat tomorrow.
As you wish. Bye-bye.
Oh, Miss Forster. Would you get her back, please, Mr. Fletcher? She hasn't signed off.
Right.
You'd think she'd know the ropes by now. She's been a social worker for so many years.
Well, perhaps she's getting a little absent-minded.
Not going to be much of an asset to the place, then, is she?
Give her a chance, Miss Bennett. It is her first day. I'll be in the kitchen if anyone wants me.
What a tiresome lot of nonsense, all this signing in and signing out.
Yes, I know, but it is the regulation, Miss Foster.
All right. Good night again.
Night.
Good afternoon. Good night, indeed. Have you seen what time it is? She should be putting in another couple of hours.
Well, it is the first day. Perhaps she's a bit tired.
Well, she's not going to be overworked if she keeps on at this rate. All she's done today is see one prisoner.
Well, maybe she'll get stuck into the work tomorrow.
Oh, we'll see.
But Whole Vinegar just wouldn't listen. She reckons Kay just wasn't used to prison ducker.
Ripper! When you take a dinner to her, tell her unless she pays up, she'll starve.
What are you gonna do to her dinner?
Won't use the detergent again. Be something even better.
Hey, what about that real hot sauce? You remember we had that Mexican stuff once? Oh, it was awful, and it had that stuff all over it.
Tabasco?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Burn her tongue out.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Davidson. It's not often we see you in here.
No. Where is Mrs. O'Regan?
Oh, she's taking delivery of some stuff.
I see.
Oh, Mrs. Davidson, everything all right?
I'm not quite sure.
There been some complaints?
The new prisoner in the isolation block claims the meal that was served to her at lunchtime had been tampered with. She seems to think someone is trying to poison her.
But
I don't see how that could be, Mrs. Davidson. I was in here the whole time the meal was being cooked and dished up.
You don't think Gaffney may have had a chance to put something in the food?
I shouldn't think so.
Birdsworth was on trolley duty at the time, wasn't she? She has been known to make additions to food before.
But Miss Bennett was with her, Mrs. Davidson. I can't see how she could have done it this time.
No, that's true.
You know how most newcomers seem to complain about the food. I don't know why I do my best.
Yes, I know you do, but just keep a close watch on the women working in the kitchen. I don't want this talk of White's food being poisoned to give anyone any ideas.
I'll be careful, Mrs. Davis.
Thank you.
Have you been up to some of your tricks again, Margot?
Me? Don't know what you mean, Mrs. O'Regan.
Don't come the innocent stuff with me. I won't have people causing trouble in my kitchen or messing around with my food. Now, you just behave yourself, or I'll speak to Mrs. Davidson and I'll have you put on lavatory duty.
I haven't done nothing. What are you going on about?
I'm just warning you, that's all. And you two.
What am I supposed to have done?
I just don't think you two are a good pair to have together. Now, you can do trolley duty tomorrow, Margot.
All right, if that's how you feel.
I'm glad you could come, Meg. To be perfectly honest, I felt I couldn't bear to spend the evening alone.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.
I suppose you know about the report Vera's put in about the factory.
Yes, yes, she has mentioned it.
I don't mean to embarrass you, Meg. I know you have to be loyal to a fellow officer.
We should all be loyal to you, too. Now, Vera knows I don't like what she's done, and I want you to know that no one else had a part in it.
I'm relieved to hear that. I'm going to need all the allies I can get in the next few weeks. You see, the department has decided to make an inquiry into my version of the incident. Apparently, Vera accused me of covering up for Andrew Reynolds.
Look, I don't know whether you know, but, well, it has been implied that your relationship with Mr. Reynolds is more than just a business one.
Yes, I am aware of that. But thank you for trying to warn me.
As far as I can see, it's your own business.
I wish that was so, but unfortunately, the department has to decide whether or not I had a motive for covering up for Andrew Reynolds. But I assure you, Meg, we are purely business acquaintances. Excuse me.
Erica, I'm sorry to disturb you, but
Of course, you know Mr. Reynolds, Meg.
Yes.
Good evening, Mrs. Jackson.
Mr. Reynolds has just come to discuss the cancellation of the work release.
Oh, yes. Yes, well, I'd better be going.
Well, there's no need for that, Meg. Please stay.
No, I intended not to be late anyway. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Meg, but there's no need for you to go, you know.
Oh, I know that. But you want to talk business. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Meg.
I'm sorry I've embarrassed you.
Embarrassed me? I just finished telling Meg that there was nothing more between us but a business relationship, and you turn up here at this hour of the night.
I know I shouldn't have come, but we couldn't talk for long this afternoon.
I had said all I had to say, Andrew. I am not prepared to give up my position and my career for the sake of a quick fling with a married man.
But that's part of what I wanted to talk about. Things have changed. It could make a difference for us.
What do you mean?
Julie wants a divorce.
No, Andrew, it's no use. Don't you see, if we were to go ahead with our relationship and make it known, it would only confirm the suspicions that we were having an affair. I would most certainly lose my position at Wentworth and probably be fired from the department altogether.
And is that what's most important to you?
Yes, it is. My work
is my whole life. I couldn't be happy without it.
Well, at least I know where I stand.
I'm sorry, Andrew. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sure neither of us realized what we were getting into.
So this is really it, then?
I'm afraid so. I like you very much, but I simply cannot afford to go on seeing you. There's too much at stake.
Goodbye, Erica.
Goodbye.
Can anyone hear me? Is anyone there? I said, is anyone there?
What's all this yelling about, White?
What happened about the solicitor I wanted to see? Has the social worker done anything about it? I haven't heard a word.
No, neither have I.
Well, you're in a better position to find out than I am.
All right, I'll ask. Now stop that yelling and settle down.
Well, just so long as something is being done.
It will be.
Don't worry, Butchie. We'll soon have you out of that nasty old box. Poor little Butchie, having to travel in a nasty old box. But you'll have plenty of room in here. Come on, darling. There we are. Oh, poor Butchie. Oh. Oh, hello, dear. This is Butchie. What was your name again?
Fletcher, Jim Fletcher, Miss Forster.
Yes, well, Butchie, this is Mr. Fletcher.
Howdy. Miss Forster, really, I don't think animals are allowed on the premises.
Oh, nonsense. Butchie's no ordinary animal. He's my companion. He's been taken care of, and he's house trained, so you can see he'll be no trouble at all.
Miss Forster, White was asking about her solicitor.
Who?
Kay White, the new prisoner. She's in here on remand. You were talking to her yesterday.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, are you going to contact legal aid?
Oh, that's a good idea. Would you look up the index for me, dear, will you? Come on, Butchie. Oh, little Butchie must be very thirsty. There we are. Oh. Yes, we'll soon get you right.
Yeah, it's ringing, Miss Forster.
What?
The legal aid.
Oh, yes. Hello? This is Miss Forster, the social worker from Wentworth Detention Centre. We expect a visit from one of your solicitors today. Thank you. Now, there we are.
Do you think you should have spoken to them like that?
What was that, dear?
Well, legal aid. I mean, shouldn't you show them a little bit more respect? You'll never get a lawyer out here like that. This is your solicitor, White.
Good afternoon, Miss White. My name is Spencer. I'm from Legal Aid. I've been asked to represent you. I've made myself familiar with your case, and I see that you feel you should be receiving psychiatric treatment.
That's right. Compulsive gambling is an illness, isn't it?
And you claim that your compulsion for gambling is what has led you into crime.
Yes. My boss, Mr. Reynolds, left the handling of all the monies to me. It was a terrible temptation. I resisted it for years, but finally I couldn't take any more. Look, I never meant to steal that money, just borrow it. I've never done anything against the law before in my whole life.
I believe you offered to pay the money back.
Yes, every cent I ever took from the company. I begged Mr. Reynolds to simply fire me, but instead he had me arrested.
If you thought of yourself as mentally ill, Miss White, why haven't you sought treatment in the past,
As I said to you, I didn't realize how bad I was. Look, I never thought of it as stealing, just borrowing. I always intended to pay it back. Look, I didn't realize how crazy I was. I need help.
Well, from what you say, I can see a chance of us constructing a good case for your defense, particularly as you're prepared to undergo psychiatric treatment. However, I should like to examine your file more fully and the police charges against you. When I've done that, I'll come back and see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. You can't know how grateful I am. You're the first person who's listened to me.
I'll do the best I can for you, Miss White. You can be sure of that. Thank you, officer. I'm finished.
He thinks he can make a good case for me. I'll be out of here before you know it. I should never have been put in here anyway.
You'd be surprised how often I've heard that, White.
Oh, no. This time it's true. You'll see. Mr. Spencer is very optimistic about my chances. You will thank the social worker for getting me a solicitor, won't you?
Yes, of course.
I'll be glad to get out of here. I don't mind telling you.
All right, Captain.
Did Miss Forster get White a solicitor?
Yes, she did. But I'm surprised he came. You should have heard the way she spoke to him on the phone.
Like your meals, do you? Enjoy what you got yesterday?
It's not fair, my being victimized because the work release was cancelled. That wasn't my fault.
I don't give a damn about that. All I want is the money you owe me. And if I don't get it, you're going to be sorry. Real sorry.
Well, then, I'd better give you what I owe you, hadn't I?